Show the chicken thing. There's the chicken. Oh, there's the chicken. Look, isn't that beautiful? And look at this frame. Tell us about this deer. Where'd we get this image?
Going through Jean Paul's boxes, and I have books to get rid of some of them, most of them. And it's an old children's book, and the rest of it was destroyed. I got a $2 frame at Goodwill yesterday. Put some leaves in the picture. They'll dry nicely to match the leaves in the photo.
Chickens are big at this house. Yes, dear. What?
I was just going to take
Oh,
it
take
out.
this. Okay, take that
I
back.
just finished doing that.
Butterflies are big at this house. Our good friend Michael went back down to Southern California and went to Gnostic Mass at Golden Lotus, and he had the dear folks at Golden Lotus sign this nice card to us. Made us feel more at home. Anyway, we're on the Scorpio discussion topic in the last few days about death and things like that. I'm going to top these 3 days off. Today is All Souls Day, which has meaning to the world's Christians. Yesterday was All Saints Day, which and the day before that was All Hallows Eve, and it's just Scorpio time. That's why I put the death card up this morning. But I'm just going to read a little something that I wrote many years ago about whether I believe in the afterlife. Do I believe in the afterlife? I believe in karma and reincarnation. Or do I believe in karma and reincarnation? Do I believe in heaven or hell? Am I afraid to die? The answer to all these questions is a qualified yes. On the other hand, if you ask me if I believe that when I die I'll be hauled into some celestial courtroom to appear before the God of judgment, who will convict me on evidence of my failure in life to sacrifice my intelligence and common sense in order to believe unquestioningly in a particular cult's interpretation of the details surrounding an historical or mythological event, and or my inability or disinclination to submit to a particular collection of ancient superstitions and tribal taboos, then my answer is an unqualified no. I am perpetually amazed that stable, intelligent people with driver's licenses and college degrees, people who can finish the New York Times crossword puzzle and run huge corporations, people who otherwise display the most superior powers of intelligence and insight, can actually look me in the eye and tell me in deadly earnest that they believe that all human beings have been cursed by the creator of the universe because of the very fact they were born. That because we are already guilty of committing life, the Creator has condemned us to eternal torture after we die. And that they believe we can bargain ourselves out of this fate by perfectly surrendering to a certain mental and behavioral parameters that are outlined in a book composed of 66 chapters written over a period of hundreds of years by an unknown number of authors in an assortment of languages. An unerring book that has been translated scores of times by individuals employed by intensely biased institutions. I can't believe that people, intelligent people, would believe that after we die, our corpses at some unspecified date in the future will reanimate like zombies and fly up from our graves and hover in the sky at the side of our deity, who, sitting on a flying horse, will slaughter 1/3 of the population of the planet. Afterwards, this same deity will preside over the ultimate kangaroo court in the clouds and issue one-way tickets to the lake of fire to the newly murdered and all others who in life did not unquestionably believe that all of this was the only spiritual game plan in town. I'm sorry, my friends. I cannot see how blindly accepting the above doctrine or any of 100 others, just as ludicrous, could possibly be good for one's mental health. As a matter of fact, it appears obvious to me that in order for a rational, intelligent person to subscribe to such silliness and still live a relatively normal life, he or she must set aside a small corner of the brain devoted exclusively to religious mental illness, and visit that area as infrequently as possible. This does not mean that I think that individuals who fervently believe in a specific after-death scenario do not experience their expectations in the mysterious, timeless moments of the death coma. On the contrary, I think that it's highly likely that one's visions at the moment of death mirror, in perhaps nightmarish detail, the crystallized reality of whatever spiritual worldview has captured and enslaved the decedent's imagination in life. For this reason, I'm particularly saddened when I think of the untold millions of my fellow human beings who have exited this plane of existence while still harboring torturous doubts as to their worthiness to pass such an impossible judgment. Shouldn't religion be satisfied with terrorizing their devotees into social and economic obedience during life? Is it really necessary to demand from these poor souls one last act of tragic self-condemnation insidiously designed to trigger horrifying visions and unspeakable terror during the death experience? In 1954, I was 6 years old and loved to listen to the radio. That year, one of my favorite songs was Rosemary Clooney's "This Old House." The refrain went something like this: "Ain't a gonna need this house no longer, ain't a gonna need this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles, ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, nor mend the window pane. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, I'm getting ready to meet the saints." That was not as good as Rosemary Clooney. Okay, it's a perky little tune. And I didn't give it much thought until my mother was sensitive enough to point out that the house in the song was really somebody's body, and that they were singing about getting ready to die. From then on, the song gave me the creeps, and I never sang it again. I still can't stand the song, but it makes a very good point. We're not bodies possessing souls. We are souls inhabiting bodies. For thousands of years, the great Osirian religions of ancient Egypt impressed upon devotees an image of a resurrected body as the key to overcoming death. Changing only a few names and images, Christianity inherited the Osirian formula and has perpetuated it through the 20th century. The Osirian formula is based on the incorrect assumption that the sun is born and dies every day and teeters toward extinction every winter. The identity of the Osirian devotee was centered in earth. An earth that just sits in place, a helpless spectator of the sun's birth and death. This is precisely the role played by pious Christians who can only hope to overcome death by riding the magical coattails of Christ's death and resurrection. A body hoping to come to life again. Times have changed. We now know that the sun does not die, neither does it need a magical resurrection. Shouldn't it be logical that the next step in spiritual evolution would be to harmonize with our most recent understanding of reality? It's not so hard to move our identity from Earth to the sun. The sun is on all the time. We are on all the time. There is no life after death, only life. I knew it as an infant. That's why I could never picture myself off. The solution to my crib meditation is the simple fact that there is no off. The body is bound to wear out. Sooner or later, there won't be time to fix the shingles, won't be time to fix the floor. Is it such a catastrophe to leave a house that is falling apart? Perhaps the vision I received when I was hypnotically regressed in college, and the vision of the Enochian spirit EHNB were not pictures of an actual event, but an allegory of the death experience. In those two visions, the hypnotically regressed vision of my how I died in a previous incarnation, and the Enochian magic vision of that David P. Wilson had concerning my last incarnation's death, or a last incarnation's death, was me walking a tightrope and falling off the tightrope and dying. I wouldn't be surprised if one day, when I'm incredibly old and trying to recover from a long afternoon of flamenco dancing and unbridled sex, I close my eyes and find myself standing on the roof of my house. In front of me, I see a wire strung tightly to the house across the street. I hear my friends laughing. Once again, the sum total of my life's momentum urges me on toward new experiences, urges me on to the narrow wire that joins this old house to the new one just across the street. And that's it for our Scorpio-ish 12th house November opening. Hope you had a good time. Have a wonderful All Souls Day, whatever that means to you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.